Howdy, folks. I'm Festive Flapper, flagrantly flaunting flamboyant fineries.
I'm Amber.
And here are more flamboyant fineries for us to flagrantly flamboyant.
And I'm
Flaunt.
also dressed as a flapper, but you can't really see it, so.
Yeah, she would have to stand up. We could adjust the screen down a little bit.
Yes, so I have a sparkly dress on.
All right, let's get started. All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Daughter That She Wouldn't Be a Good Psychologist? My daughter is a 15-year-old female, and I'm a 46-year-old female, and I'm a single mom. My daughter is autistic, and she has been in therapy for about 10 years. She can live a semi-normal life, and she can socialize, and feels confident enough to be herself and not mask her autism too much to fit in. She is smart and kind and outspoken. She is also participating in activities with other autistic kids regularly. Since she is going to graduate by the end of next year, she should start to seriously consider her career choice, so I asked her about it. She said that she wanted to be a psychologist. It seemed like she has made psychology one of her special interests and really wants to study psychology at college. Yes, she has the grades to get in easily, but I told her that I didn't think that she would be a good psychologist. She asked me why, and I explained that while she is doing very well after so many years in therapy, I don't think that she would be able to help others because of her autism, because I would expect a doctor to be in a better state than I am. Basically, I personally wouldn't let a surgeon with a prosthetic hand do surgery on me. She argued that because she's autistic, she could help other autistic people. But I said that it would be a very obvious bias towards them, and doctors are supposed to be neutral. And she may project her own experiences in her patients and end up hurting them. We argued more, and then she said, okay, I guess I'll go into computer science then. That was where the discussion ended, but later today, I could hear her cry and is now barely talking to me. I'm worried that I may have hurt her, but I think that she needed to hear a reasonable perspective on it, but I could be wrong. So that's why I'm asking here. All right, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think OP is being a jerk here and also ableist. And the idea that autistic people can't be psychologists because they're not unbiased, nobody is unbiased. In fact, that's part of the issue. No one is truly neutral. Everyone has their own biases, and people who don't have personal experience with autism have a harder time understanding a lot of the good sides that can come with autism. It's often treated as, a very much a negative thing, but it has its pluses and its minuses. And so I think it's important to have autistic people in psychology to help further the science and help other autistic people as well as neurotypical people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the mother in this situation is really overlooking a lot here. Now, I want to say that there are actually a lot of famous autistic psychologists. So the fact that she says that her daughter couldn't be a psychologist because she's autistic is actually just incorrect, because there are psychologists who are autistic. And I think that she is probably, if I had to make a guess, I would say that she's discouraging her daughter more because she thinks that psychology isn't a good field to get into, rather than like some computer science, which is a field that a lot of people have classically viewed as a desirable field that can make money and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm not saying that she isn't being ableist, because she's clearly being ableist, but I think she's also using ableism to force her daughter into a field that she thinks is a better monetarily.
She could be. She could also just be ableist. I can't tell from, like, based on the way the post is worded, it seems like she legitimately believes that autistic people aren't qualified to be psychologists.
Well, I mean, I don't think these two things are mutually exclusive, though. I think that she's certainly like ableist, right? And I want to stress that. But I don't think that's her only motivations here, right? I think that part of her motivations are that she doesn't want her daughter to go into psychology, because psychology, you have to actually, get at least a master's before you can even do anything in it, right? But her daughter seems to be pretty smart if she's graduating this early. So I would imagine that she would have many different career choices for her. And I mean, I wouldn't say that computer science is necessarily the best field for people starting out, because more and more intro jobs to computer science are being lost to things like artificial intelligence. So she may be setting her daughter up for more failure than what she realizes, depending on the job market in a few years.
Well, and to top it off, like, a university degree does not determine your entire future. Like, lots of people get degrees in psychology or computer science or what have you and go into completely different fields. A lot of the times the goal is more to develop like a general skill set, and not necessarily like hyper specialized. Your entire life is now laid out for you. So if she goes into psychology and decides it's not a good fit for her, she can still transfer the skills she gets from that degree program into a different field.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, I'm a 27-year-old female and my fiance, a 26-year-old male, set boundaries around what I can talk about with him. Is this healthy? Essentially the title. My fiance and I have been dating for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. Over the last 2 years, he's asked me not to talk about or drastically limit how much I talk about certain topics, including work, niche topics that I've extensively researched and really enjoy, and our wedding. Today, he added the cat that I recently rescued to that list. This has severely limited the topics that I talk to him about and made me feel that he just doesn't want me to talk. This is backed up by the comments that he has made about how monotonous and hard to listen to my voice is. Writing this out, I totally understand that I sound like a boring person, but he knew most of these things about me coming into the relationship. We knew each other before we started dating. However, I understand that those things aren't necessarily everyone's cups of tea. I used to talk at length about these topics, but I've worked really hard not to talk about them too much with him. I even set daily reminders on my phone not to talk about topics that bother him until it became a habit. Initially, he said that I didn't need to set reminders, but he was noticeably happier when I started talking less in general. Meanwhile, he continues to talk at length about the similar topics that he has asked me not to talk about, work, and his favorite topics to research. When I brought up what I felt was a double standard, he said that anyone could understand and relate to his work, whereas he doesn't understand mine. I've also made an effort to at least listen to and encourage his research topics, even though they're not my thing. And he says that these are the only topics that he has to unwind outside of work, a physical, public-facing job. It does make me sad. I believe in encouraging people's favorite topics, and I'd really love to have that reciprocated from my partner. Instead, the list keeps getting longer. When I want to give him important updates on my work life, like I'm going after another job, I have to preface my update with, I'll make this quick, or a 2-minute update. And even then, he looks like he's being forced to endure it. Several times when those things, especially work, which has been especially rough for me this year, are all I can think about, I find myself with very little things to say that won't go against the boundaries that he set. But I still want to desperately talk to someone. On those days/weeks, we'll have very surface level conversations. Especially then, I talk about our 3 cats a lot, and now the rescue cat. Mostly nonsense things about how sweet they are, and silly, made up scenarios, and then we just slow blink at each other back and forth, and it's great. This upsets my fiance. He's made comments about how he would have to act like a cat if he wants me to talk to him to give him attention. I've explained that I'm just going through some stuff at work, and I don't want to talk his ear off about it. I've tried having conversations about how to resolve this so that we both get what we need, but he usually turns it back on me in some way. This can't be a really healthy relationship, right? Or am I overlooking it/missing something? We're about 2 months out from the wedding, and I'm struggling to finish the wedding DIYs because of what this would mean for the rest of my life. Thank you in advance for any advice. Edit, I didn't expect to get clocked this hard, but yes, there's a chance that I'm on the spectrum. I haven't pursued a formal diagnosis. He doesn't believe he is, and only fit 1 to 2 criteria when we looked a while back. Some additional information and clarification. I did previously talk too much, 1 to 2 hours in some cases, about work and my favorite topics. I realized that I was doing it after I suspected that I was autistic. This is something that I've been working really hard on regarding topics that aren't really everyone's cup of tea, and I recognize that. I rarely talk about anything for more than 15 minutes now, 30 for topics that he's engaged in, like when I tell him that I want to change jobs and how it could affect the two of us. My fiance has called me annoying before, but says that's endearing. Some people have suggested that he might just be with me for the chores and cooking, etc. I've taken over all of the cooking, but I really struggle with chores. But I've been trying to do better. But I've improved gradually over the last several years. This is the main source of our arguments. I apologize for the length of my post. All right, folks, what do you think?
I think that OP would be better off in a different relationship. OP is right. This does not sound healthy. It doesn't sound like this man really cares about OP as a person. It's totally normal for partners to have things that one is interested in, the other isn't, but it's important to still let that person talk about the things that interest them. And it's very one-sided. If he can talk about work and his hobbies and interests, but OP is like limited to a very like narrow range of topics, that's not fair at all. And that's not setting boundaries. That's just being a jerk.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't really feel like a very healthy relationship. It doesn't feel like OP has the room to talk about the things that she needs to talk about. And certainly, like, there are sometimes going to be topics, I think, in relationships where maybe there needs to be like a cool off period or something like that, where maybe someone is like, maybe, I don't know, it just is, it may become cumbersome, right?
Right, or maybe they've had an especially bad day and they, something that they'd normally be okay with, they just can't handle. It's totally fine to say to your partner, like, hey, I'm under a lot of stress today. Can we talk about this some other time?
Yeah, but I think shutting her down like this isn't healthy or good. And I mean, I think certainly like she needs to be able to talk about these things. And again, it feels very one-sided, this relationship. It feels like he's allowed to talk about the things he wants to talk about, but she can't talk about anything, really.
Right. Well, and she gets more emotional support from her cats than she does him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, if you're getting more out of your relationship with your cats than with your partner, stick with the cats,
Yeah. And I mean, it's unfortunate. It really is, because it's clear that she has a lot of passions about a lot of different topics, and she wants to talk about these things, but the moment she starts talking about them, he's like, I'm not really interested in this. You can, don't talk to me about this.
Right. Well, and for him to be like, well, but everything I'm interested in is important and everyone would understand it. No, like, it's just not, that's not, no.
Well, he's not even trying, right? He's not even trying to take an interest in what she's doing. And maybe sometimes it might be hard to take an interest in something, but you should at least try if this is something that's important to your partner. So, I mean, I think that that's really what this boils down to be quite honest. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, I'm a 29-year-old female and my husband, a 28-year-old male, won't tell his family that we are married with kids. My partner and I were long-term friends turned partners after each of us went through a divorce. We've been together for 2 years, and we have a blended family and a newborn twins together. My divorce was made known to everyone, friends, family, etc., as you would expect. His was, not. His mom and dad know, that's it. His best friend, long distance, doesn't even know. His father only found out because he surprise visited us after my twins had been born. Both sides of his family are from other countries, so it's been very easy to hide me. His parents are both very close with their respective sides, and the family is regularly appraised of life updates, but not his divorce, marriage, or new babies. I want to add here that there are no religious or cultural reasons for this. All parties involved are secular, including extended family. They are all still believing that he is married to his ex, and they only have his pre-existing kiddos. His mom and dad also treat our new kids differently than his kids with his ex, but that's a different scenario. His mom refuses to tell her side the truth and says that he needs to do it, but he won't. He's also not supposed to or planning to tell his 80-year-old grandmother, as I've been told that it would literally kill her. It's starting to sting. His ex-wife was harmful to the kids, hence the divorce, subsequently abandoned said kids for the party life, and I've picked up all of the pieces. I raised those kids day in and day out, right alongside my own. We recently also opened a very successful business. His uncle called the other day to congratulate him and his ex-wife on the success, and how he had heard that him and his ex-wife had put thousands of hours in to do it, all while raising 2 kids. What a champion she is. They also congratulated him on how his 2 kids had been making new health and growth progress lately after a concerning period of stagnation due to health issues, which is because I have been hauling them off to physical therapy and occupational therapists, working with them day in and day out, trying to help them be healthy. I'm the one that put thousands of hours in while pregnant with twins and raising the other kids, 4 kids in total other than his new shared twins. I'm the one that helped the kids get better. His family sent gifts to the house for her and for their kids. Multiple sets of great-grandparents don't know that there are 2 more babies, countless cousins, etc. My newborns are just in the wind, known to no one. That hurts more than myself being a secret. He flew her out to meet both sides more than once over the years. He used to post online about her, how beautiful and amazing she was. I was cleaning out the basement and I found old photo albums. He's into film photography, and there were hundreds of candid snaps of her. He never takes my photo, not even when I was pregnant. When it comes to me, it's like I'm a ghost. I don't get it. I have no idea how to approach this beyond what I have. I've asked him a dozen times and he just says stop bothering him and he'll do it eventually. It's a knife in my heart every time I watch him accept praise or congratulation for the things that I've done that everyone is attributing to her. It hurts me so bad, I have to take my babies to another room while they call so that the crying isn't heard. Once his mom was visiting and I had to hide in the basement for 35 minutes while they all video chatted without me and the babies. How can I get through to him to tell his family? TLDR, I'm a 29-year-old female and my husband keeps me and my children secret. He refuses to tell friends and family the truth. I want to edit to add, he is generally very good to me. He's nice to me and he helps me with the twins. Second edit, 1. He keeps saying that he'll tell them when we're less busy, which honestly probably won't be for years. He also says that it doesn't even matter because he rarely sees any of these people. 2, I told my grandparents, who are in the same age as his grandmother, about the life changes. His mother cried when she found out about me and said, "Your grandmother can never know. It would kill her to hear something bad about you." I don't know, posting this made me feel worse about it somehow. Seeing it in writing feels worse. Does it even matter that he isn't close with them beyond the average extended relatives relationship? Am I overreacting? It's not as if we would routinely see these folks, but his mom sees them often. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, this does not sound like a healthy relationship right here. It seems like you don't really matter to him in the scheme of things. Like, helping with the twins is kind of like bare minimum parenting. He's their parent too. It sounds like you were doing a lot of work and going completely unappreciated and hidden. And it's totally understandable that you would be upset, even if he doesn't see these relatives a lot, that they're crediting your hard work to someone who neglected and abused his children.
Yeah.
And so I think it's time to potentially tell him, like, I think you need to be clear with him. Instead of just asking him to do this, you need to tell him, you need to do this and we need counseling ASAP or we're done.
Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe ending the relationship is actually the better course of action here. And the reason why is this. He's using this whole emotional manipulation thing of being like, oh, it'll kill my grandmother if she hears about this, right? And like, that's not a good place to be. You need to be able to be seen in a relationship. So I understand that your 2 lives are wound together deeply, especially with the business, but it's time to take a stand and it's time to walk away, if you ask me. I mean, I think that he has shown his true colors. He has shown that he doesn't want, he values whatever reputation he has with the family over you. And I don't think that's fair to you, and it's not fair to your children, and it's not fair to the whole situation here.
Well, think about that for a moment. He values how he's perceived by relatives he claims he isn't close with
Yeah.
more than he cares about OP, his partner's feelings.
Yeah. And to me, this just doesn't add up. There's something that smells rotten here, right? It smells more like he just wants to hide the fact that OP exists for one reason or another, and doesn't really necessarily care about what kind of impact this has on her.
Right, like he wants what she does for him because she's taken over, a lot of the childcare for his other two kids as well as for the twins and helping him run a business. He wants to profit off of her labor without actually having to do anything.
Mm-hmm. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What dinosaur loves to sleep?
Well, I would say the Snorosaurus.
A Stegosaurus.
A Stegosaurus? That makes sense. That makes sense. And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on respecting your partner.
Both partners deserve love and respect in a relationship. And if you're not getting those things, you deserve better.
Yes, for sure. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.